Hey, how's it going, everyone? Hope everybody's staying healthy and safe during these crazy times that we're living in. It's been a couple days since I made a video. Not a lot going on right now, so there's not much really to talk about. One thing that has been going on lately is the talk on whether sports should continue this year or start in some cases due to the fact that we don't have a vaccine for the COVID-19 epidemic, and or how sports should go ahead and operating, through this crazy time. There's a good chance, or pretty much a solid chance, that there won't be fans, which to me is what sports is all about, as far as having people in the seats to cheer for their team. It definitely is part of the experience, and it does help. It does give home field advantage. Just go to Seattle or go to New Orleans, teams that have these crowds that are so loud, or Kansas City even. That's another crazy place where the fans are just, it's epic. They do Richter scale readings or sound readings for these teams to see how loud their crowds can actually get. So it does make a difference. But unfortunately, with the situation we're going through right now, it's really a question of whether there's going to be sports this year. I've made a video about this before, but things are getting closer. The end of July is training camp. And then, of course, August is preseason. The preseason's already been cut down to 2 games. And that's something that I hope stays that way even after the COVID situation. I know Kyle Shanahan is not a big fan of the preseason. I am not myself either. I feel like it just gets guys injured. You already know about your roster pretty much through camp and OTAs. Preseason is really about depth and getting to know the guys that are going to be on the back end of your roster. But as far as I'm concerned, if we end up losing those 2 preseason games this year, so be it. Don't bring them back. Another thing is that there's been talk from the NFLPA. Actually, there was actually a vote from the NFLPA. I think it was about 5 days ago. There's an article written by Nick Shook he's the Around the NFL writer, NFL.com. It said the NFL board votes to recommend playing no preseason games this year. It seems like a smart move. What they were going to do, pretty much, since there would be no preseason games this year, was lengthen the start of training camp in a series of stages. The first stage would be for medical physicals, players reporting to camp, and that would last about 3 days. That's from the NFL Network's Tom Pelissero. The following 21 days would make up the second stage of strength and conditioning program to prepare the players' bodies for a return to football activity. From there would be a third stage that would resemble OTAs, in which players would participate in 10 days of non-contact, non-padded practices before eventually shifting to a 14-day fourth stage that would be focused on what camp traditionally looks like, with potentially 10 total practices with the maximum of 8 padded practices. That would be a total of 48 days and would immediately precede week 1. So that's what they're looking at this year without the preseason. Honestly, I would rather have that from now on than even have the preseason. I mean, you're going to get a good look at guys in camp. You're going to know who you got. We're a pretty deep team, so training camp for us is really just maybe integrating guys back in that have been injured, like Trent Taylor and Jalen Hurd. And then a matter of seeing where some of these people that we drafted are going to fit along the roster, as far as like Brandon Ayuk and Javon Kinlaw. Getting them up to speed as fast as possible is definitely the should be the concern. And to me, it really comes down to one thing: do you need 4 preseason games? No. Like I said before, Kyle Shanahan is not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. I think the preseason, all it is a way to injure your starters and, go into the season with second and third stringers playing important roles on your team. And that's not what you want, especially if you're a team like us who's coming off a Super Bowl loss and we're looking to avenge that. We want all the healthy bodies as possible. And the way to do that is don't play unnecessary games that we don't need to. If that means having a 48-day camp like they're proposing, I would totally be down with that permanently. So this is all a wait-and-see approach as this whole COVID thing has been. We all know it. It's ever-changing. Nothing's ever stays the same. They opened up things around the world, and now the outbreaks are coming back because there's no cure for it yet. So that was something that I'm not really totally surprised about, that once they open up things are kind of escalating back to the way they were before. So it's going to be interesting to see how the NFL is going to go about doing things, if there's even going to be a season. I hope there is. I can't imagine living through the winter, or at least the beginning of winter, September, October, November, December, January, without football. That would be tough. It's already a depressive time of year for me because of the weather, and without football, it'd make it even worse. But, life above everything, that's what's really most important. Players are people too, and coaches and fans. So it's all a wait-and-see approach. I'm sure we'll know more in the next couple weeks. And until then, I will talk to everyone later. Y'all have a great day. Stay healthy, stay safe, and see ya.